GB News Stephen Dixon and Ann Diamond were forced to cut off Anna Riley, who was reporting live in Selby about the Farming Day of Unity, with breaking news from Gaza. As the feed cut to crowded scenes at Parliament Square in Gaza City, Stephen announced, "Apologies there. We'll catch up with her in a moment because we are expecting the release of these 4 Israeli hostages imminently." Ann continued, "We can see cameramen of various types pointing their cameras towards car doors as though we are expecting, as we saw last Sunday, the hostages to just be pulled out and immediately taken to Red Cross vans." Stephen added, "It looks like terrorist documents being signed by those representatives of the Red Cross, who are trusted to get these 4 young women out and into safe hands, where they'll be reunited with families very shortly after they've been seen in hospital. Once this process has happened, then we'd expect the release of Palestinian prisoners, 200 of them from that prison in Israel." This comes after Hamas named Karina Arif, Daniela Gilboa, Naama Levy and Liri Albag as the hostages who would be released in exchange for prisoners in Israel. This marks the second exchange since the ceasefire came into effect last Sunday, which saw 3 hostages and 90 prisoners released in the first swap. The ceasefire halted the war, which began on the 7th of October 2023 and will lead to a permanent end to the war in Gaza. In the live broadcast, the women aged 19 and 20 years old were met with cheers from the crowds of Palestinian civilians bearing Hamas flags and bandanas alongside gunmen. The women smiled and waved during the handover before being taken into the Red Cross vehicles. In the studio, Anne remarked, "It's extraordinary that they are being paraded this way." Stephen agreed, "It is, and Terry's so much cheering on the Palestinian side, but I guess it's because this means that they're going to get 200 of their people back as well. We can see a lady in Tel Aviv who's in tears. I'm sure there'll be an awful lot of people in tears watching this, as these girls are freed after 400 and odd days of being held." As the women entered the vehicles, the broadcaster added, "There's 4 or 5 Red Cross vans there and no doubt there will be medics in one of them and various people if assistance if needed. It has to be said, those girls looked in reasonable health, all things considered."